Welcome back to Reussi Talks, a channel where successful women come in and sharing their story, their experience on how they get to successful where they are today. So today is a very special day. I got invited to a successful woman house and I will interview her here at her house, a beautiful house. Let's meet Eman Fustok.
Hi,
Eman.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for letting us here.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I'm very excited to be with you today.
Yeah, we're so excited too. So let's start with yourself. Introduce about yourself.
I'm Eman Fustok, as you said. I was born in Houston, and I've been here my whole life, and I love this city. I feel like it has everything, and it just makes me feel like I can, as I've grown, I've tried so many things just from being able to, because this city has everything you can think of to do, and I always like to try different things. And so one of the things that I got into growing up here is acting, as you know, and so that's one of my passions, and I love doing it. And I also I have two boys that keep me busy. So they were born here as well, and they are 9 and 12, and they are, they make every day like, an adventure.
I know.
So, and then I also, I always said that, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades. So I really always try to try new things. So, sometimes they say that maybe you don't get to be successful when you try too many things because you spread yourself. But I find that, even as a mom, that's what we do. We spread ourselves because we have to, right? So I find that, no, you can be successful trying new things and do different things and what works for you, So, I also work with my dad, who's a doctor. He's a plastic surgeon. So that's another thing that I do. So I'm in a lot of things that I enjoy.
It's like multitasking, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. You never know if you don't try.
No, exactly. Right? And I believe in that. If there's something you like and enjoy, try it. You never know if you don't try.
Right.
Exactly. Just like with you, right?
Right? Never know. Yeah. So when we talked last time, I heard you talk about you living in other countries, like many countries.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that? How was your experience?
Yeah, so my husband works for oil and gas, and when we got married, he said, "Do you mind traveling, to different parts of the world for my job?" And I said, "No, I would love it. I definitely." So the first place we went to was Saudi, and people back then, now Saudi has opened up, but back then it was still like, we couldn't drive, we couldn't do anything, like it was very restricted. But you know what? At the same time, I really found myself there because it took me out of my comfort zone, and it made me find like different ways to experience life when you're restricted, So I actually found I became like a social coordinator for the compound we lived in, and I would schedule events and things for the kids, and we would do parties, on the holidays. So I found myself being like a social coordinator, which I had never done, and it was challenging because I was nervous, being responsible for activities for the compound and making sure everyone's enjoying it. I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want everybody to have a good time. So it was a little scary at first, but then you realize at the end of the day, most people are going to be happy. You can't make everybody happy, but everybody enjoyed it and had a great time. So I was able to network and meet people, and everybody kind of knew me because I was the one who kind of took charge of all the social events and things like that. And it was really fun. And I actually had one of the greatest experiences there, and I developed very strong bonds with my friends there because we had each other. I didn't have family, so my friends became my family. So it was a great experience.
Yeah. Right.
And then from there, we moved to Alaska. So we went from the desert to, the freezing cold. And that was a very nice experience in a different way. You go from being restricted to having the whole state is like open to you. It's like it's like they say it's God's country because it's so beautiful, it's so preserved, it's so you get in touch with nature. So there I found my love for nature, for adventure, for hiking and biking, and my husband discovered fishing there. I mean, you just find it, you get in touch with nature and beauty, and it was just, my kids had such a great experience there as well. You do things that you don't do in other states. Like for PE, they had ice skating, they had ice hockey, they had, skiing, like things you don't do here,
Everything with ice.
Yeah, but they loved it, and it was so fun, because in Houston, you don't have that, and so I felt they were really getting to experience a different side of childhood as well. Mm-hmm. And for me, I also made really great friends there as well, and a lot of them moved to Houston because they're all in oil and gas, so a lot of them came here, and so I still get to see them, and we're very close as well. And then from Alaska, I went back to the desert to Abu Dhabi, and that was my last experience abroad before coming back home, and that one was really fun. I mean, you're an hour from Dubai, and everybody knows Dubai. It's like such a great party, fun city. So we would go for the weekends a lot, and it was really fun. And that's where I realized, I really, in Alaska and in Abu Dhabi, I realized I wanted to get back into acting as well. So it's just, I got to do some in Alaska, I got to do some in Abu Dhabi, and now back here I've been doing it as well.
Did you experience anything like language barrier or something like that when you live abroad?
No, because I'm actually originally Syrian, so we speak the same language, which is Arabic. So that's why I was outside my comfort zone, because I never lived internationally, but it was in countries where I knew the language and the culture a bit, so it kind of helped.
That's awesome, right?
Yes.
When you live somewhere and you understand the language.
Yeah, so I think if I go somewhere like, completely outside of my language, like somewhere in Asia or something, that would be really a nice challenge that I would like to experience one day. And I told my husband, I said, if you get an offer in the Far East, I don't mind. I want to try it because it's something completely different, right. And I want to experience that. Right. Yeah.
So did you get any challenging with the cultures, anything?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like I said, being in Saudi where I can't work, I can't drive, I can't just go on my own without, almost like, it was a different experience, but it was a learning experience as well. I actually didn't miss driving because I thought I would miss driving, but I didn't because it's stressful sometimes when you're on the road and you're trying to go somewhere and you're rushing and there's traffic, and I found that I was less stressed because somebody else was driving and I'm just relaxing because you either take a taxi or a bus or my husband was driving. So I found that I was more at ease with that, and then like I said, with not being able to do everything outside in the compound, you can do whatever you want. It's like your own little country. You can do whatever you want. I could even drive in the compound. So it kind of became like a little bubble. So anything that I couldn't do outside of the compound, we were able to do inside, and I would find ways to do it. So so I felt like we didn't miss anything. Like we would have Christmas party, Halloween party, Easter egg hunts. We would try to do everything.
Oh,
yeah.
Still, they have to keep,
yeah,
the cultures.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and because it was so international, you had people from all over the world, and so to bring them together at the events with their kids, they appreciated that, like to make them feel that they are still not at home, but a piece of home, to make them feel, because they're also in a foreign country, not just me. So, it would make them feel a little more comfortable being away from home during these holidays and special times.
I think I get what you're saying and how you feel, because I am also an immigrant.
Yes.
And yeah, I got the hard time when I just moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm learning and just improving.
You're doing a great job. I mean, look at you designing your own label is amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So, do you think that living abroad bringing you the experience that could contribute to your successful day to day?
Definitely. I think that when I left here, I mean, I'm always who I am, but I feel like when I went international, like I said, it took me out of my comfort zone and it forced me to develop as a woman and find ways to be successful with the little things that I did, and I think I learned a lot about myself. I think I grew a lot. I think it made me, when I come back here, I feel like a lot of things that maybe were uncomfortable for me when I was younger, they were no longer uncomfortable. Like I feel, more at ease in different situations, whereas before I might not have been. Like even doing this, like before I was a lot more I would have been maybe a little more nervous, whereas now I'm like, it's okay, it's just an interview, like things are I think I found, because I went so far outside of my comfort zone, I feel like nothing is as uncomfortable or difficult or challenging as before. I think it made me stronger, more independent, just more comfortable in my skin. So with overall, I think that made me a better person today. So
right.
Yeah,
everything is built up every day.
Yes.
Through the experience.
Right.
Yeah, that's really. So tell me about your actress career, like acting career. You really love to do.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, so since I was a little girl, I was always one of the leads in the plays because I was really good at memorizing lines. So I started to enjoy the stage, because when you're little, you're on stage. And then as I grew up, I realized I really like it. And even in high school, I did theater. And then when I graduated high school, my dad said, being like, a little bit old school, he said, you cannot get a degree in acting because what happens if you don't make it? You have to have a backup. And I said, okay, fine. And I respected his opinion because it's true. Like, it's very difficult to make it in that industry. And until now, so I got a degree in media production because I thought, I appreciate the in front of the camera and behind the camera. So I learned both sides. And it was I appreciated that my dad told me that because it was something now that I think that when I'm on a set, I appreciate all the hard work that's going on before you come on set because there's a lot of preparation and a lot of things you have to prepare for. So I continued, and then after college I got married and had kids, and I thought, okay, I'm kind of done with that. I thought I was done. And then when I was in Saudi, I started to feel, I was like itching for something. And I told my husband, I said, I think I miss acting. And he goes, well, you can't really do it here. And I said, I know. So then when we moved to Alaska, I started looking for projects and things going on, and I got a commercial there. It was a local commercial, and it was really fun. It was for a remodeling company. They remodel like kitchens and bathrooms and things like that. And it was really fun because, Anchorage is a small city. So for me to be I was on TV pretty often for the locals, and they would see me, they're like, I've seen you on TV, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. So like, it was nice, It's a good feeling. Like I felt really excited about it. Like I would be at the gym and I would see the commercial and people would like kind of like, you know, like, wait, isn't that you? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And it was flattering, you know. And at school, the kids, when I would go because I would volunteer at the kids' school, they're like, you're on TV. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And they would get excited. And so I did a couple commercials and it was really fun, and it made me, you know, get really back into it. And so when I came back to Houston, and I finally got with the agency here, because there's a few agencies, but the most well known is PB Talent. And you know, the first year I applied, she told me, she's like, we really don't have for your look right now much going on. And I was so discouraged because I was like, I really felt, you know, I came from a high and then and she's like, but don't give up, try again. And she's like, try again in 6 months. I said, okay. So 6 months later, I said, they're probably gonna say no, but let me try. And she's like, actually, we're ready for your look. And I said, really? And she said, yes. So they interviewed me and they said, you know, you have to be committed because, you know, Houston, there's stuff in Austin and Dallas. And I said, no problem. My kids are older now. I'm ready to to commit. And they're like, okay. And, you know, I've been really happy. I audition a lot. I've gotten a few commercials with Methodist and with another, it was called Gore-Tex, but it was not local. They were outside of Houston, but it's been really nice. I really like that I have the flexibility now because I'm home. I have my parents, they can help me. So if my husband's busy, I can let, you know, my mom help me with the kids if I have to go to Austin or something for an audition or for a part. And so it's been really fun. It's just, you know, if nothing comes from it, I'm okay. It's just something that I love to do, and whatever happens with it, I'm happy. And so, and then this year I thought during COVID it would be kind of quiet, you know, but then I was lucky to be auditioning for a part, and then that's how I got with the review show, and I started doing reviews, and it kind of now is like been going a little more, and then, you know, it's just, you never know what you're gonna find when you just keep going for it.
Yeah. You really rate that. That's how you create your opportunity. You're not just sitting there and wait for it, right? You have to come to the agency and show up yourself and asking, or, you know, even in Alaska, so you want to do it. That's how the opportunity comes. Right.
If you don't put yourself out there, it's not gonna come knocking on the door for you. You have to go knock on the door, or it's never gonna. You can dream and dream, but if you don't try, it's never gonna happen.
Right. That's always, we have to be in an active position.
Right.
To have what we want, and everything we want, we can achieve it. So talk about your show. I'm interested in your show too.
Yeah, my show. Before I did the show, I always did like Yelp reviews and TripAdvisor. Like I would write the reviews because it actually started in Alaska as well. And I just thought, you know, I use TripAdvisor so much. I want to help people because I found sometimes people's reviews were not accurate, and I'm very honest. I don't like writing bad reviews unless it's really bad. I think I'm very fair and honest, so I started doing that, and I found I was really good at it. And I would get a lot of, like, you know, help, you're helping this person, you know, they tell you. And then even in Anchorage, they tell you, like, I was like one of the top reviewers that were being read. So I was like, oh, okay. So it encouraged me to do more. And so when I actually was going to audition as a news anchor, and he told me, do you do news? And I said, I've never done news, but I'm always willing to try something new, as I told you. And he said, well, you have to write your content. And I said, oh, I don't write news. And he said, well, what do you write? I said, I do reviews. And he's like, okay, let's do the reviews. So that's how it started. And and now it's just become something that I really enjoy. Like, I've been doing a lot of local businesses and restaurants and desserts, like and products, you know. So that's how it all happened, and it's just something that's been really fun, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. And the review part is going to be big. You know, in this century, everything is online reviews. All customers want to see the reviews before they even buy a drink.
Exactly.
Right? Everything is reviewed first.
Exactly. Like even for me, like even though I do my own reviews, but I go to new places and I look at Yelp and I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's not a good time to try this place, or
Right.
or maybe you know. So it's true. We always, and even when I buy something like a big item, you don't want to invest in something and then it doesn't work, or it's
Right.
not good, or it's not made well, or something like that. So it's true. We are so influenced now by people's opinions.
Yeah. And the business is working very hard for just the reviews. Very hard.
Yes. I mean, if I ever had a bad, which are rare, you can look at my profile. My low reviews are very small. Like most of mine are 4s, 5s. But the ones that I did have a 1 or a 2, the business reaches out and they want to correct and rectify the situation. Like, why were you so unhappy? And they do try, because it affects them too, and I'm glad because we make them better by being honest and sharing what our experience was.
Either any part that we contribute to, you know, people to have a better option, better choice. That's all I have.
You know, I was doing a furniture. They came to clean my furniture. It was terrible. It was terrible. And you know, you pay all this money and then you don't get the service you want. And you know, they need to know. They should know that, you know. And I did tell them, and and they tried to, and they fixed it, but it was not good. And then whereas another one where I saw for another service, the reviews were all good, and it was true. Like all his work was perfect. He was so honest, and it really helps you find good people and honest people from the reviews. But you do have to be careful. Make sure there's not just 1 or 2 reviews, because they could be something else. So make sure there's a lot of reviews and that they're from a lot of different people, so that you have a good, fair opinion, you know.
What's your review show again, the name?
It's I Review with Eman.
I Review with Eman.
Yes.
Okay. And is a part of your jobs is showing to the public, showing on the camera, on the news, and you know, other stuff. What do you think about the appearance, the outlook affect any career?
Oh, I mean, in general, when I go to the office, when I dress up, I feel good. Like there was a time where I was always in my workout clothes. You know, we do that sometimes. Like we're always in our workout clothes because it's comfortable, our athletic wear, you know, now they call it. And you know, I feel comfortable, but when I realized, like when I started working again, and I would wear like clothes that made me feel good and beautiful, and it makes you feel different inside. You feel a different, like you stand differently, you feel differently. I love to dress up to work and wear, you know, different things all the time. I really feel like what you wear reflects how you feel, and it makes you feel good, you know. I don't believe that, you know, it doesn't matter or whatever. I really think when you dress it up, you feel different. You feel, it shows, like, you know, it gives you it's just like when you're an actress and you wear your costume, all of a sudden you feel like that part, because you wear the costume, you feel like the role, you feel like the person you're acting. It's the same with clothes. When you wear your dress or whatever, you go out, you put your makeup on, you put your clothes on, your shoes, it gives you a different feeling. You feel like a different person, like an actress, and you know, you're going and doing this different part, you know. And I think clothes are very, very important, you know, in how you feel.
Right. It's not just to cover ourselves, but showing how we are, who we are, and how we feel, and give us some confidence.
Definitely, definitely.
Right?
Because when you feel confident, it shows on your face.
Right?
Yes, it shows in your body. It shows in your body language. Everything. I mean, I think that. Like when I put something nice on and my husband tells me, "Oh, that looks so nice," it makes me feel good. You know, it makes me feel the whole day like I'm happy
and happy all day long with that
yes.
compliment, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I understand. I got it. Because that's how we got encouraged to do better, to be better of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So, based on your story that you had a dream of acting and it's been a long time, you get off and you get on. It's like long story on how you achieved to who you are today. Do you have any advice for young women who have dreams and try hard every day, try to achieve their dreams?
Never give up. If it's something that you really, really love and enjoy, don't give up. It will find. I really believe that everything happens for a reason and everything happens at the right time. So like, I really think that when I was younger, I was a lot more naive when I was younger and very trusting. When I was in my 20s, and I went to LA and I tried to pursue it then before I got married. And I think that everything happens for a reason, and it didn't discourage me. But I realize now as an older woman that if I had gone and succeeded at that age, I think I would have been lost, because I was too, unfortunately now you hear all those stories like #MeToo and all of those. I think I'm not saying that would have happened to me, but I feel like I would have been put in uncomfortable situations, and I wouldn't have known how to deal with them because I was weaker. I was just so, I was still young, and I was just a very trusting person. So now I feel like I have the tools with experience and age, and that I would know, like, okay, this is an uncomfortable situation. I need to step back, or if anything, God forbid, anything like that happens. But I think that when you're younger, as long as you have, like, for me, it was my dad was supportive, but my mother was kind of like, she was supportive as well. But I think that if they didn't know, it was a very like, from back home, being an actress is kind of like, not something that they want you to be a doctor, lawyer, business. Like, acting is just kind of like, it's acting, Whereas now they see, you're good at it. They like support me because they see my shows, and they get excited, and they're like, oh, because I think in their mind they think, oh, if you're gonna be an actress, you have to like do love scenes, or I'm like, no, it doesn't always have to be like that. Like for them, that's like they couldn't see me doing that stuff. Whereas now they see me, like, there's many ways you can do acting. It doesn't always have to be like love scenes and rated R movies and whatever. Like, it could just be like shows, or So I think they see that now, because I think they were scared as well. Like, we're gonna throw our daughter into the with the wolves, And so, but I think as long as you never give up and you find what you love and you're passionate about it, you will always find a way to do it, and it'll always come when it's the right time. And that's what I realized. I realized, like, now it's becoming more flowing more, happening more, and it's because I think this was the right time for me. I think, like I said earlier, it wasn't the right time, but I didn't give up, I just knew that when it was the right time, it'll happen. So sometimes don't force it. I think if you just let it, if you just keep it up and don't discourage yourself and don't give up, it'll happen when it's time.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like a quote that I read another day say, the winner never give up and the person who give up never win. Right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Every dream is hard to achieve. That's how it is. A dream. It's easy. It's not even a dream, right?
Exactly.
Try hard and consistent forget you there.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing your story today. It's really awesome and
thank you.
encourage on how you step by step and spending a lot of time to achieve what you achieved today. And good luck with your show too.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you so
you.
much. That was really nice.
Yeah. Thanks for watching Reussi Talks. We hope Eman's story today give you some ideas and give you a strong for you to move forward to achieve your dreams. Sharing your story with us, like, comment, and subscribe us on our channels. Thank you, and we see you next time.